So I'm actually starting carpentry. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you, God. So sick of insulation and sheathing. I like carpentry the best, so it's the most gratifying. It feels like you do something quickly. So what you see here is the start of the bed frame. So the way I make a bed is it's permanent. Yes, there are all the vans that show maybe the bed folds up, or maybe you slide the bed out, or we would never use that kind of stuff. Some vans will have like a dining room table here, and in order to use that every day, you got to put in the dining room table and take down and make the bed every night. We don't want to do that. I'd like to just walk in that door, have a beer, and then watch a little tube and crawl into bed. This is not something I want to have to remake every day. So it's permanent. Plus I'm running some wiring around here, and it's going to go around here to the front of that cabinet. And there's a big drawer that sits right here that if you look at the last printer I did, that's going to be the same thing. Little step stool that comes out so it's an easy jump up to the bed. So when you're building these, the trick is that the walls curve in. That's just the way it works. So you can't just make a straight piece of wood. It's got to be contoured. Well, how do you find that? Well, the way I do it is I level the van. So that means I put two jacks under, like right now the van's going this way. I don't really care so much as it going down, because that doesn't really affect me. I need to know what's level here, so I can kind of come up with something. Now it's never going to be perfect, and I suppose you could remake them until you got it perfect, but I'm not going to remake it 4 or 5 times just so it's absolutely perfect. Nobody would ever notice it. So the way I do it is I level the van, then I've got then the floor is level, and then these are level. So even with this, it will try to kick down the base a little bit because it's like that. So I have to kind of muscle it back up by just using these boards, and there's a 2x4 that goes across the back. So I use as light a wood as I can, so never use just 1/2 inch plywood, and if 1/4 inch plywood will do. Never use anything that's bigger or more weight if you feel that there's a lighter solution. You still have to carry all this stuff, so it's not free. And gasoline goes into carrying this and that and this, so you have to keep that in mind. So what I'll do is I'll then find a level and then make this just contour. This is going to be a big cubby box, so the bed sits here. So there'll be like two door tops, lids that just go on that. So it's going to be about 12 inches high. The bed is about 10 inches high. So then you got about 2 inches there. So it's kind of like a tiny nightstand. You know, you try to make that work. Once I get these contours made here and here and here, then I can make a box, and then I can make a lid and do that on the other side. Okay? So now I've leveled up the van floor, so it's level this way, and I've attached the 2 cross beams, and everything is square that way. So now I can kind of figure out how I'm going to make this little curve and come up with some kind of thing that's plumb. Now, you know, with any kind of carpentry, if you try to do it perfectly, it turns out okay. If you try to just do it okay, it starts to look worse. If you don't care, then it's going to really turn out poorly. So it's kind of like you shoot for the moon and then you hit something that looks better. So this is my point on this stuff. When I build the little supports for it, this is a 1 inch less than it is down here. So I made a cardboard template, and what I do is I just get it to where the front edge I want to be is plumb, so I can see that that's plumb, and we know the floor is level. So if the floor is level, then the cabinet will be plumb in space. You know, that's the problem, is that there's no real good place to call plumb or level. So you have to just do it this way on every beam, because there's no guarantee that the van doesn't, you know, come in a little bit, or it might be a 1/4 inch less width here than it is out here. So you can't just take it for granted that every beam is the same and copy them. So I'm going to do one more back here, and then 3 over there. And then if you have several of these, you have to lastly check to make sure that they're all kind of in line, so that one's not fatter than the other one, all the way up and down. And then you can put some kind of outer plywood to build a box on. So this is one of the cubbies around the bed. This cubby is going to be a cubby where it holds our little cooktop, our little just propane fire cooktop, and this cubby is going to be one where it's got a little lid. So my wife can put her water and her book and her glasses on that like a nightstand. So building this one, and it's the same thing as the rest of the van is when you build anything inside of this. These walls curve, so you got to come up with a just template. I do that with a cardboard template. So first I come up with this curve by just putting a piece of square cardboard in there and then using a just compass to trace the curve. And I cut that out. And then I find out the height I want. Then I cut that out square to that. Then I come up with how wide I want it down here. So I want to come to that line, so I cut that out. Then you're left with the last one is to put a level on it and bring it up to where it's plumb. So I've just leveled up the floor, so the floor is level rather. So this, if there's anywhere that's plumb, and this is plumb, then that should look okay when it gets built out. It's all kind of a guess, but this isn't fine furniture, so I have to keep reminding myself of that. So there's the three supports for the cubby, and every support is different. You have to make a template for every support because the wall does bend in a little bit more back here than it does right here. So now I'm just going to make a flat piece of plywood, and that should be that for that cubby, and then put doors on top of all that. So there are the cubbies, and to this point. So this is my cubby here. So it's just some redwood with a box. It's a big box. It's kind of a worthless box, but I keep chains or battery cables or oil or that kind of thing. Just a plain Home Depot hinge. Over here, this is my wife's side, and same, another big cubby. She puts her water bottle and glasses and book here during the night. Again, we've got the light to read by. So this cubby is a stovetop cubby. So the way that's going to be accessed is that there'll be a little door here, and you open it up, and then you can just reach in and grab the stovetop, and the countertop will be right here. So if you wanted to cook, you could cook here. We got the induction too. But we usually take the stovetop out to like a picnic table. In the past, we had the stovetop under the sink, and then you had to kind of fiddle with it. And so this will be a little bit easier. Plus, I'm going to have less of a storage space in here because of the power stair. So you're going to have to kind of just squish things together. I do still want to have two 7-gallon water jugs down here in case we dry camp. So down here, this is a cubby. I'll go around the outside. So this is a cubby that holds our shower tent, our trekking poles, and just long things that won't fit into the big cubbies here. Remember, I'm going to have two big pull-out cubbies like in the last van, so they'll hold all of our camping, backpacking equipment, food, and all that. So you don't want to waste space. Like above the wheel well is pretty worthless. Over here, I'm going to put a little tool box, and I'll make a little rack for that so it doesn't just slide around. So what's next? Going to start building the cabinet that goes above that. That holds coffee and a microwave. That's what the outlet's for. So that'll sit right on top of the cubby. And then I'll start building the his and hers bank of drawers and the fridge cabinet, and then finally the kitchen. The two kitchen cabinets. And then finally, after all the cabinets are done, then I'll think about putting in what kind of pretty 1/4-inch top wood I'm going to put in there. And that'll pretty much do it.